All right, so Raid's a game I've played a ton of in my off-stream time. Most of the games that I play in addition to Magic are generally on mobile these days, just because as a parent, it's easier for me to find time to play games that are on mobile, especially games like this that are turn-based, where I can like set the phone down and walk away from it, like if something comes up with the kids or like my schedule changes, which is great. If you play a little bit, I had a couple of people get really upset. They were like, "Oh, you don't actually play this game. You're just saying you play it because of the sponsored segment." I don't take sponsored segments for games I don't really like. And anybody who's played a little bit, anyone in chat, can you tell folks how long it takes to get a bunch of 60s? I've played a good deal. So the best way to describe the gameplay is I'm someone that grew up playing a lot of Diablo 2 and Pokemon video game on the Game Boy growing up, and this game kind of reminds me of a mix of those two games. So it's a team building game like Pokemon, but it also has a kind of gear grinding element to it here. So you can see here, this is I have one legendary champion that I've built out, Bloodgorge here. He's a vampire undead thing. So each of your champions has set skills here that these are determined how they attack based on just which champion that they are. Each champion has set skills. But then where the customization in the different champions comes in is you have different artifacts that you can get. And this is where the game really reminds me of something more similar to Diablo 2, where you kind of go through and you're farming these items in different configurations. And then one of the really kind of math puzzle parts of the game is finding different combinations of items that you've got based on what stat modifiers that they have, and then minimizing and maximizing your characters accordingly from there. So let's take a look at what some of the actual gameplay looks like. Yeah, I haven't farmed. If you look at my characters, I've got a ton of characters here, but most of them don't have these bottom three slots filled in yet. I need to farm the spider at some point to find extra items for some of these things. A couple of them do, but a lot of them are missing at least one or missing two or so. So let's take a look here. Dive into the campaign. I finished the campaign on the first 3 difficulties. I've not finished 3-starring it on Nightmare. So let's jump in and take a look at what some of the gameplay looks like here. So at the top, you can see here when I play a level, there's an energy mechanic that you use for accessing some of the regions when you're playing in the game. And energy, you have to be able to spend energy to engage in the levels. So you can buy extra energy refills, which I knew I was going to be streaming today, so I bought an energy boost. Normally during the week, I don't really buy extra energy because it refills plentifully enough and they give you 2 extra refills per day. So I don't really need that in my spare playing, but I knew we were going to be playing a bunch today, so we might be hammering it down. I also wanted to play some Nightmares, and Nightmare has higher than normal energy costs. So I think I tried this and I lost with just 2. So the way the levels work is, if you just beat the stage in general, you get 1 star. If you beat it with no champion losses, you get 2 stars. And to get 3 stars, you need to beat it with 2 or fewer champions. I actually might be able to beat it with these 2 red. So something that reminds me of Pokemon in this game is there's 4 different types of champions here. And you can see it tells me that this champion is blue faction, and red faction champions are super effective against those. Blue to green, green to red. And then there's a purple one here in the middle that's not weak or strong against anything. Hey, I missed the name there. Thanks to whoever checked out the raid using the link. All right, so you can see here my units usually have 2 to 3 skills here. My defense champion here has a first attack, which just hits something and has a chance to decrease the attack on the thing you hit. She also has a passive that's very good, though. Has a chance of completely blocking oncoming damage once per turn. And then she has a defensive buff here, which places a 60% increased defense on all of my champions and gives a block debuff so nobody can power them down for the turn. Yeah, Sentinel's very good. I've liked her a lot. So she's kind of a utility support champion. And then my Bloodgorge here, he's one of my heavy hitters. So his first attack just hits something twice. His middle attack attacks everything on the opposing team. and then his final attack here hits something for a lot of damage because it ignores any defense that they have. You can see the stronger attacks have a cooldown timer on them, so you can't spam them constantly. So I'm going to use Raging Beast here to start and just hit all of them and see who dies. So now they get their turns to attack. Something to note here, you'll notice that underneath each health bar of the characters, there's this yellow bar. The yellow bar is the turn meter. So whoever turn meter is closest to being full is who's going to get a turn next. So for example, this top unit, their yellow bar is almost full. So if I fail to kill this champion here, it's going to take the next turn. So I'm going to go ahead and attack this one, hoping I can kill it before it gets a turn. So a little bit slow, or a little bit short on damage, so it got a turn there, which didn't do much damage, so it's not a big deal. This champion looks like it's gonna go next, or maybe this one's a little bit more full, so let's go ahead and smack her. So now she won't get a turn. That one goes, this one goes. One of the stats on your champions is a speed stat. So something to think about here is my Sentinel looks like she's going to get to go before this one, and her attack is weaker than this, so her A1 is probably going to finish this off. So I'm going to have this guy attack one of the higher health units here, because she should be good enough to finish this before it gets another turn. Perfect. And then we'll have her hit this, and then we'll have him hit here. So each of the rounds in the campaign, there's 3 rounds of opponents that you fight through. And then in between each round, your champions heal back a little bit of the health that they've lost, but not all of it. I'm going to have her start by getting shields up for 2 turns. If you click info here, you can see it tells me which of my units have which buffs on them. This is also useful in case there's debuffs on your team that you're not sure what those debuffs are doing. So rather than using my attack here that hits everything, I think I'm going to go ahead and try and one-shot. I could probably one-shot this one. So the arrows over here indicate which units are strong or weak against things. So for instance, my red is super effective against blue, so there's a green arrow. It's neutral to other red, and it's weak against green things. So hopefully these green things don't mess us up. Man, the nightmare difficulty scales up a lot. Their champions are a lot more durable than they are in previous ones. Okay, so I think I'm going to have her hit this, and then we'll use his attack everything to finish her and weaken the rest. Relic Keeper is a very, very reasonable champion. So again, I'm going to have him hit this one before it gets another turn. And now these ones are probably going to be more tricky. So they deal a lot of damage to my champion here because they're super effective against it because they're green to red. I'm going to have her go ahead and put the defense buff up again here, so hopefully she can survive these hits. This might finish this off because it's got a defense reduction on it. Perfect. Now the tough part is there's still a 3rd round here with the boss. So she might not have enough health to get through and beat the boss. So start with defense up here. In order to get the full 3 stars on this level, I need to not only beat the dragon here at the end, but I also need to not lose either of my champions. So at the top here, if you're not familiar with what the things do, you can see what the boss attack does. So this does attacks all enemies 3 times and can place a weaken debuff potentially, but this champion resists debuffs. Its default attack has a chance of placing poison, and then it has a couple of passives up here. It decreases damage taken by the champion by 15%, and then it's immune to certain things that stop it from working. Take a good chunk off their health total here. Are they activating? There are not items that you use inside of combat, no. So there aren't potions or anything like that. So I have some units that heal other units, but none on this configuration. So if her health total hits 0, she's just going down. So it looks like we're going to beat this boss, but I might not get my both of these survive bonus. We'll see. It's going to be a little close. The fact that this is a blue affinity and mine are red affinities, so they're resistant to it. Remember when we looked at the start, I chose these 2 because they were good against the final boss. You'll notice that my units don't always go in alternating order either. And the reason for that is because they have different speeds. So she's much faster than my Blood Gorge, so she eventually overlaps him. Yeah, there's no real-time urgency. Like I said, it's a great game to play on my phone, especially if if the kids are around too and might need something, because I can just like set it down and walk away and like come back to it later. There's a timer in the corner that tells you how long you've been playing a given fight for, but there's no urgency. I think we're gonna clear this here, which is great. Sweet. And then this champion, 6 stars and 60. 6 stars and 60 is max level. I just put her to 6 stars the other day, so she's only at level 57, so still gaining some experience. Oh, if you take longer than 10 minutes, you failed a star. That's good to know. I didn't know that. This is an item that's not very good. I'm mostly just using 5 and 6 star items at this point in the game. I'm going to just go ahead and sell that. So if the game remembers what champions you've used previously on levels before, so these are ones that I'd used on this level before. So you can see here, the champions that it shows on the level, these are the final wave champions. So there's going to be 1 blue, 3 red. So I probably want to lead a blue champion. Having a red with me is probably not bad either, though. And again, if I want to get the full stars, I need to play both of these. Let's see if we can clear this relatively easily. I might want to use a lure instead of her, though. Oh yeah, green, right? Because he's a red. Yeah, I'd probably rather use green. I guess I could just use double red again. This is probably a good team, a damage dealer and a defense character. Yeah, you're right. Blue would be bad because red beats blue. Sorry, talking and clicking. Yeah, you can definitely, there's a number of people that are playing that in Hoaglandia that haven't spent any dollars. And also, even when you're not spending money, you get a ton of energy to start. I only have 2 of the highest rarity champion, and one of them's not very good, so I'm not even playing it. There's a couple of rare champions that I'm still using on my teams even pretty far into the game like I am, and most of the champions I'm using are only epic rarity. So I think we're going to go ahead and hit this one. She can probably finish this off before it gets a turn here. She's going to get a turn before this one, and she should be able to finish off this lower health total. So I'm going to have him attack someone who's a little higher. And then you can see here, she got to go a second time because of how quick she is. Go ahead and use her defense up. See if we can finish out the 2 that we already hit. Not quite, but close. What I think is the best card in Standard, I have no idea. Things like that are super context dependent. They're not questions you can just like answer straight up a lot of the time. Alright, so Decapitate ignores defense, so maybe we can one-shot something. We might be able to one-shot the one we're affinity powerful against. Close. Yikes. Alright, let's see if we can finish her. Okay. Poke everyone. Okay. Breeding pool. I don't even know, like, once upon a time, I would have agreed with you that Simic was really good, but I don't even know that Simic's that good in the format at the moment. It's, like, fine. So items, there's a lot of different customization with items in the game. So you can see some of my gear here there's different colors on them. So this one is legendary, that's yellow. And then epic is purple, blue is rare. And then I don't think I have any, I have some common ones. Common is this. Simic is the new Grixis. I mean, like, it's actually good. I mean, it's fine. Like, I don't know, like, Grixis is pretty bad. So items have different, there's levels on the items too here. So you can see, like, this is one of the champions I use a lot. So all of his items are maxed at 16. And what the items do is the items increase the stat power, or levels on items increase the stat power that they have. So every time you increase a level on an item, you increase the primary stat. And then every 4 levels, you upgrade one of the secondary stats that the item has. The difference between a rare item and an epic item is that the number of primary stats they start with. And my one star ring, I really need to farm Spider at some point. Yeah, Sentinel's really good. That's why I leveled mine up too. So something that you've heard me mention when we were talking about Raid during Magic is that there's clans in Raid. So this is clans only have 30 people. So I think we have 5 different Hoaglandia related clans at the moment. And you can see all of the people in here. So what the clans have to do with each other, I'm probably going to boot that one soon. They've been gone for 5 days. So how the clans work is there's this clan chest here, where every day if you just click the check-in button, you earn 1 star for your whole clan towards the clan chest. Then you can earn 2 and 3 stars by doing other things in the game. So when the clan as a whole hits 90 stars, every person in the clan gets a chest that gives you some small amount of things. And then the other thing that your clan does together is, in the ways to play, there's this clan boss monster here that has varying difficulties. So you can see here, other people that are in the clan have hit the monster already a couple of times. I hit it this morning, actually, for 10 million points of damage. And these are monsters that reset every day, and you kind of work through together as a team fighting it. And these are longer fights. So this is my clan boss team. Yep, I have 2 healers, my defense, and then 2 things that deal damage. So the clan boss here, you can see its abilities at the top. It has a thing that attacks everything. It attacks all the enemies and then gives itself a buff. And then it attacks all enemies, increases a decrease accuracy on them. So what I want to do to start with this champion is put my defense up on, which blocks any debuffs that they're going to do. And then this champion here has an attack that attacks 4 times on the first one. So she goes ahead and she shoots it there. And she places a heal reduction on it. So if it tries to heal, it gets reduced. And then one of the things you look for with the timing is which champions I want to put which defense bonuses on to get determined by, like, the timing on when this is using which of its attacks. Because its attacks have cooldowns, just like my champion's attacks have cooldowns. He's very, very big and smashy. This champion here, the Sky Touch Shaman, is one that's really a neat ability. So at the beginning of each turn, it hurts itself by 10%, but then it heals all my other champions based on how much life it's lost, which is really great. And then its first attack here attacks every opposing enemy. So if there's multiple, it throws at all of them. And then it either speeds itself up or heals itself. And then it has an ability here to block debuffs or put a revive on death power up. So if things are getting close to dying, she can pull them back. Because this has the heal reduction buff on it, this champion kind of plays into itself, where it has a bonus on this where it places a poison if the opponent has a heal reduction on it. So you can see, I can move myself down. There are penalties stacking up on the boss monster here, where poisons deal damage equal to its health, etc. This is a second healer. So how my team for this composition works basically is this unit heals everything else, and then this healer heals her. They all kind of work together. One of the things that's interesting in this game to me is as you get more champions, the combinations of things you put together into different parts of the game, in addition to how you build the specific champions, how you group them together, also has a lot of things going on in it. And this is a fight where you can see in proportion to its total life, I'm not doing a ton of it. So like my team won't kill this monster in this attack here, in this fight here. But as the clan works together throughout the course of the day, eventually we team up and bring it all the way down. You saw there when it punched, it only punched one thing and actually didn't deal any damage because her passive triggered, which was great. And we heal her. So again, she keeps everyone else alive and then he keeps her alive. It's a good system. Yeah, I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it a lot, Freezy Pop. So a lot of what I'm going to be doing in playing Raid today is a little bit more active gameplay where I'm actually engaging with all of it too. But part of the game too is, like I said, I'm often making comparison to like Diablo 2 because I played a lot of that as a kid, where there's definitely like acquiring items and leveling your champions is grindy. So there's the game can basically be played as like a half idle game when you're grinding through it. There is an auto battle option where if you're basically like guaranteed to run through a level because you know your champions can do it with the computer doing it, you can have the computer do the tedious grinding for you, basically, which is great, because as a kid, you always had to do that yourself. So, yeah. Does this game require an interconnection? It does. So it's not one you can play offline on mobile. Is 5 the highest number of champions you can use in any play mode? It is, yep. So the champion teams, usually the dungeons are 5 and the campaign and arena, the PvP arena is 4. And then now you can see here, this boss is about to do an attack that attacks everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this bonus on before that happens. Now, you'll notice the clan boss isn't doing a ton of damage, and based on my healers, it looks like this fight will never end. One of its passives here is once it gets to the 10th turn of the game, the clan boss gets more aggressive more quickly, so it does eventually kill my squad. How long have I been playing Raid, and how much money have you put into it? I think I just got my 70. I can check. There's a login reward every day, so you can check how many days you've been playing for. A little over 2 months. So when you log in, there's deals that pop up, and Raid, you can basically pay to skip any part of the grinding in the game that you want. So Raid will literally let you spend as much as a mortgage payment on it if you want. I spend money on the games that I like. I think before they offered to sponsor me, I had put like $200 in, and then I put a little bit more in after that when they offered to sponsor me so I could have some extra things to show off on stream. And there's plenty of people that are playing that have spent actual nothing. I have it exactly how much. I keep spreadsheets for all the money I spend on games because all my spending ends up being tax deductible at the end of the year. So I gotta have everything dotted and crossed. How is the cosmetic side of the game? I actually think that's something they could work on improving. There isn't a ton of customization when it comes to the appearance of the champions, but there's also a lot of different champions to pick from that have a lot of variation in what they look like. This monster does kind of look like Croxa, doesn't it? And you can see my champions are starting to take a little bit more damage now as we get deeper in. This thing's gonna hit harder the more rounds we go through here. Yep. Yeah, if once I'm done with these sponsored segments, my spending's going to be the battle pass every 2 months, which is $25, and then there's the daily gem deal is really good, which is $10 a month. So if you play and you like it, the battle pass for the current season is almost half over now, but they give you enough jumps from the weekly if you buy it that you can complete the whole thing still. Is there a level cap? Yes, characters and your personal account cap at level 60. When I use the Heartseeker on Cold Heart. So, I actually think, so my Cold Heart has full masteries, including I think it's called Giant Slayer, which I actually think makes her A1 better than Heartseeker in this matchup, or in this fight. I guess fights are kind of like matchups. Yeah, so the Heartseeker attack that someone asked about is actually one of the reasons why Cold Heart's good in some of the other battles. She has what we refer to as turn meter control. She hits the enemy and then has a chance to decrease their entire turn meter bar, but this particular monster is immune to turn meter reduction. And you can see there it said debuff blocked because it has the debuff blocks power up. Normally when the clan boss smacks someone like that, they get stunned and don't get to attack the following turn. So I've been pretty happy with this team composition for the clan boss. Feel like with the addition of her, I got into a really good spot. And now I'm going to go ahead and put the increased defense here because it's about to do an attack that hits everything. So I'd like to increase defense across the board here before everything gets hit. One of the other things that helps make my team last so long in this clan boss with this composition is you can see here, this has a decrease attack modifier on it, which she puts down when she attacks. Yeah, one of the things Raid seems to have done that's done pretty well is obviously you need a pool of champions to get through some of the content, but they seem to have a good selection of common, of uncommon, and even some common champions that are easy to get from the green shards that are good in particular content pieces. So you don't have to have a team of like epics and rares to get through things, or like a team of all legendaries. I only have one legendary that I use in any of my rotations. Cold Heart's a rare. You can see he was stunned there because he did not have a block debuffs up. Looks like they're going to have another AoE attack, so let's go ahead and put this up. Outlaw Monk is usable without masteries. So one of the things that I, again, find neat about the game that I've enjoyed from a tuning perspective is there are some champions that are really good in certain areas and really bad in others. So you can see a lot of my champions are damaged here. I want to heal this one, though, because she heals everything else. So when it gets to her turn, everybody else jumps up. Yes, Cold Heart is a void, so you only get her from void shards. So I don't know if this is for certain, but I've watched some streams of this game, and one of the streamers I was watching mentioned that they do double chance events for the higher tier shards every 2 months or so on a rotation. So they just did a double chance for blues. So if you have blues and you're looking for champions, I'd probably pop those blues now because there's not going to be a double event for them for a while. But the sacred shards and the void shards should have a double event coming up sometime in the next month or so. This champion here, I haven't used his third ability yet. His third ability actually revives something. So when they eventually kill my second healer, we bring her back. So this team's really good at healing and playing defense. So the team basically survives until this thing eventually just like Super Saiyan and kills my entire squad in one hit. Which does eventually happen. Yeah, if you want to be super optimal, you could theoretically save the blue ones too, but you want to actually play the game too. So like if you need champions you want to level up, I would just use them. Like, I'm holding a lot of mine because I have champions that I like at this point. Correct. Yeah, the way this boss is designed is this boss will beat your team until you're like one of the last people on your clan to fight it. So it's gonna finish killing my stuff here in a second. Cold Heart is down, and it's killing my healer almost every turn. Most of the fights are not this long. So this can revive Cold Heart though, which is great. Get her back in here. Defense up. And then this gets to heal this. My healers work so well together. And then that healer's down, so we're probably going to lose the squad here soon. Their next AoE attack, although they don't have an AoE attack next turn, this still has 2 turns to cool down. No, debuffs mostly just last for 1 round. I'm going to go ahead and heal her. We're pretty much off these other 2 champions. These are the 2 squishiest champions on my team. These ones are a little bit more durable. Her especially, the Sentinel, is super durable. Oh, she had a revive ready, didn't he? Probably should have done that. I think I'd rather revive Cold Heart, so that way she can get another hit for poison here. So his revive puts an unkillable buff on it, so she can't be killed until she gets a turn, so that way you don't revive and then just immediately lose it, which is great. So always getting at least 1 shot. I'm actually going to heal my tanky character because she's more likely to live to leverage the heal than this is. Although my whole team is just going to be dead here in a second. We'll get to see how much damage we did. Nice. You can saw there her passive popped up and he took no damage from that attack, which is just great. Alright, well, we have no revives left. We have no heals left. I assume she's going to die in 1 to 2 more hits here. She'll get in what damage she can. Alright, 1 more shot. Get him. And she's down. Alright, so how much damage did we do? Hit 10.91 million damage. So you can see here, we log out. This difficulty on the clan boss has 60 million life left, and I dealt a total of 20 million there. So again, it's supposed to have a lot of damage on it, and you can see this is only the 3rd of 6 difficulties. This one at the bottom here gets all the way up until 12,000 million life, or 1,100 million life. So the way these rewards work, something we mentioned earlier is when you're playing with your group, you don't really want to overkill by too much. When you click into here, you get prizes at the end of the day or when the boss dies based on how much damage your runs did. So on this champion, if you do 11.648 million damage, that's the most prizes you can get for doing this. And then if you look on the brutal, the damages are more steep. So this one, to get the max price here, you need to do over 21 million damage. So you want to give your clan members a chance to deal damage to max their keys before you kill it, because if your clan fully kills the boss, yeah, you get double the prizes at the bottom. There is a PvP element to this game as well, which has been just fine. I kind of like grinding through the clan boss and other parts more than some of the PvP. How the PvP works is, you can see here, I have a defense set up, and you'll notice this defense has 3 champions that are different in it. Still using Blood Gorge that I've used in some of my other areas. He's one of my heaviest hitters, but these other champions are a little bit more useful on PvP than they are in some of the other areas we've done so far. So you set a defense, and then on the list here, every 15 minutes you can refresh to get a new set of opponents. You can look at what their defenses are. So like I can click into here, and if I'm not familiar with some of their champions, I can click into them and see what their abilities do. So Valkyrie, she's a counter-attack champion. So she gives their champions a buff that lets them attack my stuff if I hit them. Which of these teams do I think I can kill? Maybe beat this one. Let's take a peek here. So there's a total team power, estimate at the bottom here that you can kind of use to gauge a little bit how on par your units are versus theirs. But it's not always 100% accurate because it overvalues some things and undervalues other things, in my opinion. And also, the exact composition of which heroes they're using to your heroes tend to matter more too than just the raw power. So let's try and start this one and see how we go here. My team that I'm playing is kind of an aggro composition, so it's aiming to go first in most fights, which we are. This unit has a lot of speed. And this unit has an ability here that when you activate it, it increases the turn meter of all my other units. So even though like Allure here and this are slower than some of theirs, this is going to catch it up. So when it uses that, it jumps up a lot of my things. And in addition to jumping up the rest of my team, it also gives them a plus attack bonus. So his main attack here hits twice, and it has a chance of placing what's called a provoke debuff, which basically forces whoever you put it on to attack this unit. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on their miscreated monster here, because this is a powerful defensive unit. And because I've provoked it now, this will be forced to attack this with its base attack instead of defending the rest of the team. My next champion here also increases the speed on everything else I have. So this increases my turn meter and gives them a speed buff, so they refill their turn meters faster moving forward. So my first two champions kind of buff the other two, and then Blood Gorge and Allure are my damage dealers. So I'm going to go ahead and use my Decapitate here to see how much of this guy we can take down. Looks like all of it's the answer. And then Allure is my final hitter in my sweep. Her center attack here, her A2, it hits all of the opposing enemy units, and it has a chance to put them to sleep. So basically the plan for my arena team is make my guys quicker, one-hit KO something, and then try and sleep some of the other people. Yeah, this is a real humans defensive composition. They're not controlling them in real time. So again, just like the single player content against the PC. Ooh. Oh wait, did he remove debuffs there? I think he removed debuffs. Yeah, the computer controls their stuff. Her A3 here hits everything, and then it can reduce their turn meter a little bit. We might be about to get smoked here. Maybe I should have focused this guy down. You can see my team was quicker than theirs, and my plan of going first worked, but their team appears to be a lot more durable than mine. He cleanses. Okay. Yeah, it looks like. Yeah, they have their units are protecting each other and healing up, so it doesn't look like we're gonna be able to. We're gonna be able to cut through them. Can almost cut them down, and then he heals. Alright, well, you know, we took two of them with me. And then you can see here, this is a blue unit, and these are reds. So even if he had a chance at standing up to these other two in terms of one-on-one combat, he's gonna have a bad time. All right, so I'm gonna take a look at their team again here. I forgot what part of Bad Alcazar does. So he has a passive that says allies inflict 15 more damage to things that are poison, and then this here removes all debuffs from allies and then places a continuous heal on them, and then poisons my team on top of it. Okay, so I should prioritize, if I want to beat this team, I should probably prioritize attacking him down first, because he can clear the sweeps off my other units. I think I was a lot quicker than their team, so I think I'm actually going to go ahead and shuffle out my second speed champion here, and I'm going to go ahead and try, I'm going to try Stagnite, and try and attack them a little bit differently. So Stag Knight is a champion that he can, he makes their units hit for less, and he makes them take more. So I think I'm still going to get to go first with this composition without the extra speed. We'll see. Yeah, it looks like I'm still a good bit quicker. So I'm going to go ahead and increase this. And then I'm going to try and focus down Bad Alcazar because he removes my debuffs. And then Stag Knight, he hits all the opposing enemy units. And then he decreases their defense and decreases their attack potentially. So you can see here, he got 2 debuffs on each of these and one debuff here. And then I'm going to go ahead and try and see how much of this one we can focus down here. Sweet. Okay, so we finished him. And then now, Allure can go, and whatever she sleeps will stay slept, which everything got slept there, which was awesome. So their turns came up, they were asleep, and then their 2 outside things didn't get to go here. So pretty good example, honestly, of like knowing which one of what their champions do gives you a better chance, and like how to focus your team composition. So we went from like a round where like I was completely ineffective to reassessing how their team worked and then able to cut through because I understood how I was supposed to prioritize my things. Yeah, Stag Knight is one of the champions you can get from the Battle Pass, which I said was one of the best value if you do decide to spend a little on the game. It's $25 for the 2-month Battle Pass. And he's one of the better champions. You can see here he's only level 50 for me and only 5 stars, so at some point I need to get him to 6. Who else do we want to try? I feel like I can try one more round. Let's try this. I'm gonna put my team back with the double speeds. I don't know exactly how quick their team's gonna be. Okay. How important is ascending? Eventually ascending's important. It's not a huge stat increase, but one of the things that's most important about ascending is the fact that it unlocks extra item slots eventually. I am at like one of the very highest parts of the arena. I think I'm gold 4 right now, which is the last ranking before platinum where you get individual numbers. So this champion here, Martyr, gives them the ability to give their units counterattack. So I want to take her down ideally, I think. And then let's go ahead and sleep here. Okay, well, she slept all of their things here, so that's pretty great. So sleeping things wake up if you attack them. So I don't want to use my AoE attack. I want to just use my one hitter, and I think I can probably clear their seeker with this. Yeah. Okay, and then their things still haven't gone yet, so I probably want to avoid hitting these 2, I think. I want them to sleep all the way through. So we'll attack here. And that placed a provoke debuff on here, which is great. This A3 attacks everyone, and I don't want to attack everyone yet because this one's still sleeping. Let's go ahead and have her do her single target. I'm going to go ahead and have her use her Hellish Blaze to try and focus this down before it can get to turn. And now nobody's sleeping, so we'll have this use its A2 to attack everyone. And again, no one's sleeping, so let's use her A3 and hit everyone. Get some power back up. Sleep is worse than stun, but you also find that on different champions because of that. Yeah, the baddie on the left must have freeze guard. I think he might have a passive, actually, that freezes. Rawr. So that's the PvP. And like I said, like the rest of the game, it's all turn-based. There's no timer ticking down on you. You can click into here and you can see the battle logs. You can actually see my defense team has mostly gotten beat up here, and we've been winning a lot of our offensive. And a lot of the times your team's going to lose on defense too, just because like people are picking and choosing which teams they think they can beat. And you can see here, these are all the different ranks, and I'm here in gold 4, which is, you know, right outside the highest one. What are we doing next? I think I did all my quests already. I think I did them last night. Yeah, I did my daily quest. So when you're looking for things to do, in addition to playing through the campaign and stuff like that, there's quests every day that give you different activities and things that you go do. And then there's weekly quests and monthly quests as well, which, like I said, you can see, if you haven't seen this before, I do play a lot of raid off stream. I've completed most of these. And then these will roll up. So when you complete the daily quest 5 times, your weeklies reset. When you complete your daily quest 30 times, the monthlies reset. One of the nice things about these, if you're not someone who can play every day, you don't have to do the weekly quest in the span of a calendar week. You basically get as much time as you want to do it. It just doesn't reset until you do the dailies 5 times. So if you can only play every other day or whatever, you don't miss out on weeklies or monthlies. It just takes you a little bit longer to get through them, which is really nice. Now, one of the ways you actually get champions in this game, in addition, after your starting champions here, there are different shards that you open them from, which is a loot box aspect of the game. You can see here the details on how likely you are to get different pulls from different things. The sacred shards are the most busted ones. They're guaranteed epics, and they have a 6% chance of popping legendaries. I've not completed a get RB. If someone asked me how long I've been playing for earlier, daily logins, I've been playing for 68 days. So working my way towards the 90. As far as Arbiter mission goes, I'm 194 out of 286. I can work on this. So this is another path of things to do. So the mission I'm currently on for this is win 15 5 or 6 star artifacts from the Dragon Slayer. I am going to get my 69th this evening. Nice. All right, so actually, let me show the dungeon map really quick. So the dungeons here are another way you build different teams to play through the different content. So there's Ice Golem, Dragon, Fire Knight Castle, Spider's Den. These different dungeons tend to require different champion compositions to really get through. And I have a mission for this. Maybe we'll do a run or two in here, and then I'll show off some of what the other dungeons do. The dungeons have different stages that increase in difficulty as you play through them. And you can see here, it tells you the quality of the items you can get from the different stages. So the higher the stages get, the higher star items you can get. How do you get more multi-battles? There is a raid pass that increases the number of multi-battles you have access to, which I believe the raid pass is $10 a month if you get it, which I bought last month, but I don't know that I'm going to renew it again. So, you can see here, levels 2 that you played through already too. So I've beaten the dragon up to stage 16. I've not beaten the stage 17 dragon yet, which I think I'm actually going to go ahead and try today, because it's been a hot second since I tried. The dungeon battles are very similar to the campaign in that there's a couple of waves of enemies, and then there's a final boss at the end. And then the different bosses in the different sections have a different, gimmick or kink or thing you have to play around in order to beat them successfully a lot of the time. My team composition for this is actually identically the same team I was playing with for the clan boss. Has my 2 healers and then my unit that protects things. The leftmost hero is a little bit cold. A little bit chilly. She's a shaman. She doesn't believe in clothes. So you can see here, I'm going to use the Heart Seeker, which took its turn meter down. That was the attack we talked about earlier. So they're killing one of my champions here, but that's not a big deal because this can revive if we get that far and she dies. I'm going to go ahead and put the Immortal Skies on here, so this way it automatically recovers if it dies. So she died, and then she immediately popped back up because she had a revive on death debuff. I'm actually just going to go ahead and heal her. My other one that hurts itself is pretty high up. I'm trying to kill this champion here in the back because this is their champion that heals, so I'd like to take this out before it can heal any of their other stuff. You can see here my green champion is the weak faction to all of these blue champions, so it doesn't deal a lot of damage, but this champion's not in my composition to deal damage, it's just here to heal, so it's not really a big deal. I don't think I've tried this dungeon since I got my team with my healers on it, so hopefully we're going to actually be able to plow through here. Hey, Investigate, thanks for the 14 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Going to kill this one because its turn meter was almost full, so by killing it, we deny them a turn, which is great. Yeah, there's a big range of different units, too. If you're on the subs Discord, in the raid channel, there's a pinned website that has a rankings of the different champions, and more importantly, not only does it rank the champions just in general, but it also breaks them down based on which areas they're good in, because there's some champions that, like, kind of suck in most places, but are excellent at specific pieces of content. Which is neat. So you can see here, we're working our way up fully into the Dragon's Lair here. Once we clear these idiots, we'll get to the actual boss. Yeah, AoE champions and turn meter control are good against the spider. So I'm going to have him revive my Cold Heart that died, and she gets the unkillable bonus for a turn, which is nice. So the arena, if you just came in and missed the arena is a PvP component, but the champions in the arena, while someone else picks what champions they put on their defense, they don't control them live. So the arena is still turn-based, play at your own rate. You can put it down, come back to it later, just like the PvE content is. So there's two different ways which you engage with other players in the game, through the arena where you attack their defenses, and then the clan boss where you work together as a group to kill the big monster each day. My Cold Heart is very squishy, but she deals a lot of damage to the bosses, so we put up with her dying. This revive has 2 more turns on its cooldown, so we'll be without Cold Heart for a second here, it looks like. He's just sleeping, yep. Yeah, probably use that. So one of the things you'll notice is, one of the things I try to do with my composition is this, while it increases defense and places block debuffs, this also places block debuffs, so I try not to have this overlap with her ability in my timing, so that way I'm not, like, losing value. Between this champion and this champion, if I sequence things correctly, I can always have block debuffs up on my team, which is good. Yes, you can still revive her if you move from this screen to the next one. It's a relevant question, and yeah, it does work that way, which is great. We'll see if she can manage to live this time, or she can get herself killed again. Might be good to get through here. I don't think I'm going to use her power up here because these opponents are almost dead. And I'd like to have your skill cooldowns last from fight to fight through here. So if I use skills with cooldowns in this fight, they'll still have a cooldown up here when we get to the dragon. So ideally I'd like my skills to not have cooldowns waiting when we get to the boss to start. Alright, so the dragon here. It says, attacks all enemies, then places a stun debuff. The skill will be locked and hidden if the dragon takes damage while this skill is unlocked. It says, it depletes it and then works towards the Scorch. This wall of fire attacks everything and places poison debuffs, so its first attack is going to place poison debuffs, so I want to go ahead and put my block debuffs up. I really like Fang Cleric. I think Fang Cleric specifically complements my Sky Touch Shaman really well, because he keeps Sky Touch Shaman alive while she heals everything else. But I would assume Fang Cleric is good even without Sky Touch. It is a lot of pips of health. So again, his A2 heals Sky Touch Shaman, and then Sky Touch Shaman heals everything else. Oh, it's sitting up, right? Okay, so you can see the health total went purple here. So when this thing sits up, if you can't deal the purple all the way down, then it breathes the Scorch. Oh, I probably should have used Heartseeker to deal more damage here. I'm going to go ahead and have her put new block debuffs up here because the rest of these are about to go off. Because I would prefer they don't take the hit because it looks like I might not make it here. We might clear all the way through. Perfect. So you can see I cleared through the purple there. So because I cleared through the purple, it did not get to use the Scorch, which is great. How high do damage numbers go? That's a good question. I don't know offhand. I know, like, for the clan boss, because it's designed for 30 people to hit each day, the most difficult clan boss has like 12 million life. But you can see here, like, this is stage 16 or 17 of the dragon, and like I did 14,000. You can see it clear through it. 6 million on the spider. Okay. So her Heartseeker can normally reduce turn meter, but the dragon is immune to turn meter effects. And you can see it's about to use its primary attack, which places a decrease attack debuff on my things. So I'm going to go ahead and put block debuffs up here before that happens. Again, when I time my skills, the block debuffs depend on what the opponent's about to do. Yes, yeah, the spider has a lot of health, but you can turn meter control it, which actually, Cold Heart's very good against the spider, because she can turn meter control it. Basically, wipe its turn bar out with the down. I actually am going to wait on its decapitate here, because the dragon's about to sit back up with its Scorch effect here. And when it sits back up, I want as many big attacks as possible ready. So I need to ideally try and get through the entire purple bar before its turn meter fills. If we don't get through the purple bar, it gets to do an extra strong attack. Which might happen here. I was close last time, and it gets harder each time, I believe. So we'll put block debuffs up, and then it does hit us, but thankfully, because I have block debuffs, I don't get poisoned, which is great. Yeah, there definitely adds more depth to the game when you have a little bit bigger champion pool to choose through. Like in the arena when you're first starting, like the fight we had earlier where like I lost and then I was able to go back and like repivot my team. That's harder to do if you don't have a champion pool to pick from, right? Hey, Blad, thanks for the half a year. Welcome back. Dragons breathe all sorts of stuff. Acid, ice. Okay, and you can see here, they just hit me, and I didn't time a block debuffs here, so they got my guys got hit with all sorts of stuff here. Some got poisoned, some got weakened, a bunch got both. So poison means they take damage at the start of the turn. Thankfully, my Sky Touch Shaman here, she gives up some of her health to heal everything else each turn. So again, she's going down here, but the rest of my team's pretty healthy. And then this Fang Cleric heals her, which is great. Oh, it was about to use a weaken. Yeah, I probably should put a block up there. It's fine. This thing's almost dead. Look at that. Fang Cleric got the killing blow. You can see here we got an item. At the end, you get some gold. This item is only 4 shards, but the stats are pretty good. This may or may not be something I use, so I'm not going to sell it off the bat since it's legendary. Use some 4-star legendaries I still use, mostly looking for 5- and 6-star items. I did beat a stage I hadn't beaten before, though, right? That was my first time through 17. I'm going to highlight what the auto battle looks like. I'm going to run to the restroom really quick. So I've talked about grinding a little bit in these levels. So this, for example, is a dragon level I know I can beat. So I can click start with my team here. And then in the corner, there's this auto button. And if I press this, it fights through. So I'm gonna run to the bathroom really quick while this clears the dragon. Because I know they can clear it. So when I described the game as a half idle game, this is what I meant. It's when you're playing through dungeons that you know your squad can beat and they don't need your finesse to help them. So like I wouldn't auto through like a level I haven't beaten before, but like if I know I can beat a level and I'm looking for particular items in a dungeon, you can like set it and like just check in every time it runs through and make sure you're still doing okay and like see if there are items you want or not. You can see one of the, basically, if you can clear a stage on auto, you're way better than clearing it on manual. So like, just because you can manual level with the team does not guarantee you can auto it, especially if you're playing a team composition like I have here where there's some finesse involved. So like this team, for example, the computer when it's playing on auto isn't going to like recognize how it needs to time like my anti-debuffs against its attacks based on where the unit's turn meters are at. So the computer doesn't plan for that, it just kind of brute forces its way through using its abilities as it pleases. But if you know you can clear and you know you have efficiency to lose, it's fine to use the autos. You'll use the autos a good bit when you're grinding up levels and stuff, especially like through the campaign, getting champions set to 60. My basic plan for dungeons so far, and it's not the fastest clearing plan, but it's been working well. These 2 healers here in Sky Touch Shaman and Ice Fang, and then Sentinel here as a defense unit alongside it. I'm basically pairing these 3 support units with 2 ideal attacking units, depending on what dungeon I'm playing. Is War Priest worth ranking up? Yeah, definitely. I was considered one of the best farmable champions. Put myself down a little bit so the debuffs show. Oh, I'm thinking of War Maiden. Yeah, War Maiden's different than War Priest. I'm thinking of War Maiden. This item's not very good, so I'm gonna sell it. Oh yeah, fusions are cool. So, one of the things this game has as well, if you're not particularly lucky, Dubs, thanks for the 10 months, I appreciate it, welcome back. In the summoning area, there's this fusion button. And there's these couple of different things where you can take different champions that are lesser rarity and put them into a higher one. So all of these champions, for example, you can farm in the campaign. You can earn them just by playing the campaign levels as loot, basically. And then eventually, if you collect them and level them up and ascend them, you can turn them into this epic champion. And then similarly here, there's this one here where you can get these different rares from shards that you open, fuse them into these epics, and then eventually fuse them into this legendary. So War Maiden, you can farm. Apothecary's not farmable. You just have to open that one. If you don't have an Apothecary, Diabolist is actually, I think I still don't have an Apothecary. Oh, I had one and I fused it into Sky Touch Shaman. I used, Diabolist for a long time. You can see she's 5-starred and has pretty reasonable gear on her. You should probably look at this gear. It might be useful on something else. But I used her for a long time because I didn't have a speed lead. Let's poke at some of the other dungeons. So we did dragons. Let's do Ice Golem. I don't think I can clear 19 yet. I've been clearing 16 consistently. You can see it's a slow clear. It tells you what your fastest time through is. It takes me about 9 minutes. Again, this is a blue level. The dungeons alternate through the different affinities. So like sometimes it'll be like really easy for you to clear like stage, say, 15 of a dungeon, but clearing stage 16 is much harder because your champions that you're using are weak affinity for that one. Elhain is actually was my starting champion, the archer. So she has 2 AoEs here, which are both pretty reasonable. I like to use Valley of Death to start because it replenishes its cooldown quickest. So most of the dungeons have you play through 2 waves of enemies and then you get to the boss. This is one of those. The spider dungeon is the one that's not like that. I did pull a Lego last time, that's true. I could open some purple loot boxes. I think I have some blue ones too. This one is about to take a turn, although Elhain might kill him first. Let's attack this one. Elhain might have an AoE up. Gambled and lost, so he got a turn. That's fine. Didn't really hit for much. Yes, Mojo. For the farmable champions in the campaign, any level in the campaign can drop that champion, and the brutal difficulty on the campaign is more likely to drop the champions than the lower difficulties. So the higher the difficulty you're able to farm on, the more likely you are to find those champions. So these champions have a counterattack buff here, which is actually really strong. So if you hit this champion and it survives your hit, it gets a free attack on you. Which, as you can see, is giving them a lot of attacks overall because they're pretty tanky. Which is not particularly good for this shaman too, because her attack has to attack everything. Yep, War Maiden is considered a good champion that's farmable. Diabolist in stage 12 is a pretty good champion that's farmable. The Forest champion, it's a green affinity elf unit, is considered pretty reasonable. Spirit Host, yeah, Spirit Host is farmable. They do a good job of, they do a pretty good job of making sure you have access to like just farm for champions if you're unlucky and don't open good ones. He's all block debuffs on them for one more turn, so I'll probably wait on that. Let's go ahead and do this. Again, Fang heals her. We have a 60 Warden. I've used... Warden has been useful in clearing some of the red affinity dungeons that I have a hard time clearing. I feel like getting good green champs, especially to start, was a challenge, so Warden was one of my first decent green champs. So I leveled him up so he could help me clear through some of the red dungeons I was stuck on. I think at some point I want to build an arena team that is defense-based, and Warden will definitely go on that. Heal her. Defense up. Smack them all. You've had the opposite problem. All the decent champs you get are green. Okay, yeah. And that's why there's some variation too. Like the configuring teams and like what champions you acquire in this game honestly reminds me a lot of deck building in Magic, which I think is one of the reasons why I like the game. It's like, okay, these are the things, it's like, these are the resources I've got. I got to min-max within the confines of the resources I've actually got. I mentioned the events. I didn't actually. Events and tournaments. I'm just going to have him heal himself. He's a little bit low. Almost to that boss. Yeah, there's, if you're playing and you think some of your friends might enjoy the game too, there's a referral program per person where you can send links to up to 3 people, and you get rewards based on how they level. So, like, the more levels your referral links get, the more you'll gain. So, this is the boss. This is the Ice Golem. So, what does he do? So, his passive here says, when his HP drops below 80, 60, 45, 30, and 15, he takes a free attack, and the free attack has a chance to freeze my stuff. And more importantly, his free attack revives his 2 minions here. But the caveat here is you can't just ignore the minions, because if you ignore the minions, his free attack when you lower his health does way more damage. It ignores your defense and it freezes your champions more likely. So you need to kill the minions each time through most of the time. So let's start doing that. One of the things that makes my current composition extra good for this fight, and again, this is where some champions are better in some fights than others, is my champion Blood Gorged here. His A3, something that I haven't brought up yet here, is Decapitate. Enemies killed by this skill can't be revived. So ideally, I'm looking to sequence in this fight in a way where I finish off the minions with Decapitate, so that way they can't be rezzed. I'm gonna go ahead and put the defense up here because I'm about to get attacked. Yep. So again, kind of gotta watch how much health I'm doing to him because I want to kill these minions first, because if I get him too low while the minions are still up, we're gonna take a lot of damage. I think I'd actually rather just attack. I don't really need to heal either of my things. She's gonna get healed from this, and this isn't that low yet. So I'm going to work down this one to a point where I think Decapitate can finish it off. This might be a little bit high. Let's try. Yeah, and unfortunately there, now my Decapitate has a cooldown. So because I got a little bit greedy there, this one's probably going to die to something else. And then it's going to end up coming back later. So let's keep Sky Touched alive. Let's go ahead and finish this. And again, want to finish the other minion before I start hammering on him, because otherwise his free attack at 80% is going to be pretty killer. This is Raid Shadow Legends. It's a turn-based RPG game on mobile and on PC. Which one is more important on equipment, stars, or rarity? Stars tend to be more important. So the stars indicate how good the primary stat bonus on it is going to be. The rarity is what dictates how quickly the bonus is, how quickly you get sub-stat bonuses on it. So now we killed the minion, so we'll hit the big guy. And then unfortunately I didn't decapitate either of these successfully, so they're both going to come back. And we'll try and decapitate through one of them here in a minute. I'm probably going to trigger his ult attack, so I'm going to put defense and blocks up here. The Battle Pass gives you a ton of stuff. If you play the game and you like it and you want to put a little bit of dollars in, the Battle Pass just can't be beat. Okay, and then you see we triggered their Frigid Vengeance there, so it's going to hit my stuff, and these things are going to revive. So every threshold, 80, 60, 45, 30, 15, so he pops them back up 5 times. Want to heal Sky Touch Shaman, because Sky Touch Shaman keeps the rest of them alive. Go ahead and hit all of them. So again, his Decapitate is up, but I want to get the rest, one of these low enough to the point where Decapitate can be the finishing blow. Because Decapitate only blocks Resurrection if it's the finishing blow. So we'll try and sync this one down with everything. Nah, definitely too high still. He needs to heal this. I don't think she's going to kill this. Perfect. Okay, and now this one should be in range where Decapitate can finish it, so I'll have this start redirecting here. Oh no! Alright, we'll try and Decapitate this one. her A1 has to attack everything, it's not optional. And that one was low enough that it got finished off there. Oh no, is the same thing gonna happen again? I think the same thing might be about to happen again here. I think Skytouch Shaman's gonna steal his Decapitate kill. That's so unfortunate. Oh wait, I can do this one instead. Perfect. And you can see my units took a lot of damage there because, perfect, and Block Revive came up. My units took a lot of damage because I actually hit his threshold before killing off the things. So Skytouch Shaman might actually go down here. She had a revive debuff up a revive buff up though, so that's great. Heal her, and then she heals everybody else. Good old teamwork. Now, one of the things that's actually quite strong from there is that hasn't come up yet because I've had block debuffs up. They actually put a heal reduction here on my Sepulcher, so anything that she gets healed is going to not actually heal for the next couple of turns. What does Fear do? Fear gives your unit a chance to not attack, and the thing that is putting fear on her is she actually has a built-in downside, so her passive is really powerful where she heals everything, but her passive has a chance every turn she slows her own speed, and she has a chance to put fear on herself. So what her ability here blocks that debuff on her own, and then this also blocks debuff. So it's pretty rare that she ends up feared in this composition, which is great. So again, gonna try and time it so I get to decapitate this one so it doesn't come back again. Well, this might get me into a position where I accidentally trigger his passive again. And you can see that healed for 0 there. And she stole the kill anyways, that's fine. Killing this with only 1 minion is not too big of a deal, it's like half as much work. And there's the passive, so it'll hit them, and then this one will revive, but this one was blocked because we did decapitate that earlier. And this, if this pops off here, it actually removes debuffs, so you'll see this happens here, and all the red goes away, which is just great. No more red. Heal you, fight you. That might be low enough. Yeah, it's going to be low enough after this, so we'll hit this, and then Decapitate should be able to finish this off, and then they're done coming back. Perfect. And then from here, I could probably just do this. Because I've dealt with the minions, which is the finesse part, so I can just make it auto-fight from here. Yes, AoE revive block. Neat. Yeah, someone was saying one of the uncommons has good block revive. Yes, yeah, so the different champions have different health totals. The number of dividers. Wait, did I not block revives? I thought I decapitated that. Did I not? Yeah, so different champions have more health. So, for example, you'll notice my two healers have more health bars than everything else on my team, and that's intentional because these champions, the amount they heal is based off of how much health they have. So by stacking extra health items on these champions when I'm building them, I make their abilities more effective. They can resist the block revive. Oh, that's good to know. I guess that makes sense. That's just a debuff like anything else. I watched the auto battle. I noticed they do have some programming for boss specific levels. At this level, for example, they actually try to save their block revivals for Dominion low. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't think my Blood Gorged has a ton of accuracy. Which maybe that's a wrong way to build him. And you can see there, her skill didn't trigger because of the fear penalty. So the drawback to her passive really showing up there. She's probably going to die this turn when I trigger the Frigid Vengeance here. But this can always revive her, so it's not too big of a deal. Yeah, she technically lived. And now, since that was the 15% mark here, I think I probably... Ooh, we get the heals up here. She's going to live. Sweet. Probably just go after the main boss and just ignore his minion since he's not going to get another Frigid Vengeance turn. Force our item. Boo. So, to look at some of the champions here, so to mention that health thing that we talked about, so this is a champion that is based on health. So if we look at her skills here, her passive says she heals based on her max HP. So if you look at the items I have on her, I have gauntlets that give extra health. I've got a chest plate that gives extra health. I've got a shield that gives an HP boost. So a lot of the items that I've elected to put on this character play into her strengths. Where, for example, some of the better characters in the game are defense-based characters. So this champion's skills deal damage based on defense as opposed to based on attack. So this champion, you kind of get a 2-for-1 where when you stack up defense makes her more resilient. So she's got almost over 3,000 defense here, but that also helps her deal damage. So you basically get to just, dump stat defense and be really well off. Sunhouse, thank you for the 24 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. You'll notice here on some of my items, I have some rank 15 items on some of these things when 16 is the highest level for those items. That's intentional. Something that we didn't talk about are they do these events that you get bonuses for playing in by doing specific things, and you earn extra in-game rewards. So right now, for example, like I said, I play a lot of Raid in my off-stream time. There's a training event going on where you earn points based on leveling up your champions and ranking them up. And then you earn different prizes here in game for the different thresholds that you cross. So the reason why I hold my artifacts at 15 is there's artifact leveling events where you get extra prizes for leveling up artifacts, and they give you the biggest boost going from 15 to 16. So generally speaking, I don't level up my artifacts to 16 outside of those events because you basically get to double dip. You get the better artifact and you get bonus points in the event. There's also what they call tournaments here, which I don't think I'm engaging with either of these right now. Yeah, some of the tournaments and some of the events you just kind of skip because you only get so many resources and there's only so much time in the day. So usually you kind of pick and choose which ones you want to go through. And the tournaments are similar to events, except you get put into a pool with other people. And these points over here from completing things in the tournament, you guaranteed get this prize at these point levels. But past that, the tournaments are also competitive with other people where the top performing people in your group get an extra prize based on where they finish in the group. And there's also a global leaderboard. This is where the real whales hang out. So you can see, as a comparison, the global leaderboard for this event, the leader has almost 19,000 points. Whereas, like, in my local group, the leader has, like, 3,000 points. And the tournaments and the events rank anywhere from go to this place and battle in this dungeon, to opening champions, to leveling up champions, and stuff like that. Should we open a few champions? There was just a blue event, so that means there's probably not going to be a special blue event again. Last time we opened blue shards on stream, we hit a legendary. Oh, my storage is almost full, though. Anything I can level up here? So the way leveling champions works is you'll notice my champions have different star amounts, and most of my champions here are 6 stars. And the way you level up the champions is to take a champion from 5 stars to 6 stars, you need 5 5-star champions. You got to feed the champions to each other. So these worst champions, we refer to them as food champions. So here's a good example. A 1-star champion at level 10, you feed it one other 1-star champion, and then this turns into a 2-star champion. So I hit this, my 1-star turns into a 2-star. The levels that you need something to get to feed them to the other one are their star times 10. So for example, 2-star things max out at 20, 1-star things max out at 10, 6-star things max out at 60, etc. 6 is the highest they go. So that cleared out a couple of spots in here so we can open some champions. So we are 91.5% to get a rare out of a blue shard, 8% to get an epic, and 0.5% to get a legendary. How lucky are we? So everybody says, hey, we got an Elhain. So I don't think I need a second one of her, so I'll probably end up turning this Elhain into a food champion because I already have one of her maxed out. And I already have her skills fully upgraded. So everybody says, at sweet, sweet purple glow chat. I've seen other people playing Jingle Hunter. He's an elf, isn't he? He's a high elf. That's great. There's a Santa Claus legendary champion. Yeah, it's a Christmas champion. So what does he do? Attacks all enemies, decreases their turn meter by 20% if this attack is critical. And then you can see when this ascends, it also increases his turn meter. So what the different champion stats do kind of dictate how you want to build them. So for example, because this champion gets a bonus when he deals a critical hit, you want to stack items on him to increase his critical chance. You can actually get your champions with the right gear to have 100% critical rates. So like you always get the decreased turn meter effect from this, for example. Attacks one enemy, has a 90% chance of placing a freeze debuff on all enemies if this attack kills the enemy. Wow. Okay, I understand why people play this champion. That's like really good. So like turn meter, so this you hit with this, you reduce their turn meter so they're slower to act. And then Jacked Frost, if you finish one of their champions with him, it has a chance to freeze the rest of them. And then Mistletoe, Jacked Frost, and Cold Snap. Okay, Cold Snap's not clever, but Mistletoe, and Jacked Frost, I'll give him. Attacks one enemy 2 times, has a chance of placing decreased speed if it's critical. Okay, so this is a champ I would want to max out crits on. I might actually build this. It seems like a good arena champ that explains why I've seen other people playing it. What's the aura? Oh, the aura is a speed aura too. Wow, yeah, this is really good. So the auras aren't something I've talked about. Your lead champion in each of your groups, if it has an aura, it gives everything else a bonus. And making your champions faster by 24% in the arena is pretty good. I haven't been super happy with high K in my arena team as I get higher. And I've been looking for something to replace high K with, and this might be a good one to do that. All right, we got one more blue loot box. I don't actually think I have this champion. Attacks one enemy, will ignore shield and block damage buffs. So this champion's not particularly good, but did I not have him? I didn't have that. Ooh, and then when you open epic champions, it pop-up deals. Which again, Raid does a good job of allowing you to spend as much money as you would like to spend to skip whatever progress you want. I would encourage, if you like the game and want to spend money on it, that's great. I've spent plenty of money on it. I would encourage you to set up a budget. The battle pass is the best bang for your buck for sure. Yeah, I didn't have a halbarder yet. Man, I didn't have Jacked Frost or Jingle Hunter. Yeah, battle pass and daily gems are what I do, which is like 20 bucks a month between the two. There's something else in here I didn't. Oh, I didn't have this guy either. Judicator. So, in the champions, so you have 100 champion slots here and kind of your active, and then there's a vault here where you can have up to 300 if you unlock them. One of the things you want to try and do is you only want to turn rare champions into food if you don't have a copy of them in storage, basically. So because I don't have one of these in storage yet, I'm going to put him in here. But like, I already have Elhain. I think I have a backup Elhain in here already. Oh, do I not have a backup Elhain in here? I'll probably store her then too. So ideally, you want to keep like one of each rare champion in here as you open them, as opposed to turning them into food. And the reason for that is they periodically do seasonal fusion events. So where you can merge champions into specific ones. And if you have random rare champions laying around, the seasonal fusion events that pop up for like 2 or 3 weeks here and there are easier to complete because you already have champions ready for them, as opposed to having to like go and farm them in places. Show off a couple of the other dungeons here. Maybe do another let's do another PvP. Can refresh and try and find some new opponents. Every 15 minutes you can reroll this to find new opponents. Who are we looking to kill? These ones look like a good day to die. So I don't know what this champion does offhand, so I can click in here. Look. Revives all dead allies to 35 HP and places block damage on them. Places a shield buff and block debuffs on all allies. So this is a really good one. This is a really good champion to take a peek at and know what skills it has. Because, for example, if I'm going to fight this team, I'm going to want to focus fire down this champion first, because this champion can revive their other ones. Nah, Chrissy really didn't get into it. She poked at it, but it wasn't for her. So start with Seeker, and then we'll send Seeker over here and see if he can place a provoke. Failed to place a provoke, but did also slow them down. Now, Decapitate here generally prevents reviving, so I might actually try and one-shot Elhain here with this, because if we take her down, they shouldn't be able to revive. Swing and a miss. All right. And then the final Hail Mary before they get turns is Allure here. If she hits everything twice, then she has a chance to sleep them. So hopefully she puts some folks to sleep. So she killed that, and then she slept all 3 of them, actually, which is just chef's kiss. So the gray-white portion of the bar is a shield bonus. So you can see here, my guy still has a shield bonus. So it says has a shield on it. Some champions gain shields. Some items give your champion shields to start in battle, and some champions' abilities gain shields under certain conditions or provide shields. So this champion's A3 attacks everything, but these 2 are still sleeping, so I don't want to poke them and wake them up. So I'm just going to have her A1 attack just this in the middle. I'm just going to try and remember to double check that the playlist updates, Percy, because I can manually update the playlist. And then I want to make sure I kill her first, because she would revive things otherwise. Let's end her. And then this can maybe finish the monster off. Got him. So the arena, you can see here the tier bonuses. The arena tier bonus, HP, attack, and defense. These bonuses apply everywhere in the game, I believe. So the higher arena tier you're in, the easier some of the other content is to do, because your champion's going to boost. The arena periods, you can kind of see back here behind my alerts. Is it? Event list. They last for about a week, And then at the end of the week, you get prizes to unlock based on the arena tier that you finished in. Probably beat this one. And what does this guy do? He has a passive that says, revives a random ally with 30% HP every time this kills an enemy. Attacks one enemy, places a increased defense on all allies, and places a shield on all allies. Okay, so I probably want to kill him first. That'll probably be who we try and focus down with the decapitate. Yeah, team compositions in this game tend to fall into either something that's very aggressive like this, that's trying to run the opponent down, or something that's super tanky. And my team is definitely on the try and run them down plan. So I provoked this. I might try and decapitate this one then. Didn't fully kill it though. It's unfortunate. So that finished her off. But I didn't kill her with a block revives. And I believe this guy also revives. Let's try and provoke this. Failed to provoke. I don't want to use my attack everything yet because this is currently sleeping. Now nothing's sleeping, so let's hit all of them. Seeker is so super fast. He gets so many turns to their one turn, which is great. Let's finish this before he can heal. And this thing can revive things as well, so let's try and end him. Yeah, my arena team composition is basically like the mono red of the arena. Yeah. Successful run. They took very few turns. Let's pop it in. Another 20 minutes or so. Let's clear. I need to clear spiders a couple of times and try and get some. So the spider den is the only area in the game where you can collect the rings, amulets, and banners from. So at some point I need to farm through a bunch of this. I might as well do it now. This is a blue affinity, so I definitely want my blood gorged. Spider's worth, yeah, the range of items you can get from the spider are really huge. Now, something that's different here from my other team compositions in the dungeons that we've played is that I don't have any healers here. So one of the tough parts is, like, if they start killing my stuff just stays dead, which can make it challenging. So the spider monster is very unique compared to some of the other ones in this game. So how it works is every time one of your champions takes a turn, 2 spider babies come down, up to a maximum of 10 spider babies. And then this thing can eat, when it gets a turn, if it hasn't used this, it eats all the spider babies that are still alive, and it heals based on how many it got to eat. So the balance in this fight is keeping the spider babies clear before the big one takes a turn, while also simultaneously keeping the turn meter of the big spider down. So I'm gonna go ahead and just decapitate the spider here. Kinda, sorta. And then you can see all the little spider babies' turns are about to pop here. So I'm gonna go ahead and use an AoE attack here to clear most of them out, hopefully. And we cleared all the spider babies with our AoE attack. The spider babies lay poison with their attack, so ideally you don't want the spider babies to hit you. You want to clear them before they get turns as much as possible. Now you can see here, the big spider's turn meter is almost full, so it's going to go soon. So this is where Cold Heart's third attack really shines that we weren't using before. Heartseeker, not only does it deal a large amount of damage, but it also has the ability to decrease their turn meter fully. So we'll hit this, and you can see its turn meter dropped all the way down, which is great. I think I'm going to hold his AoE until there's more spiders out. This champion giving it, so Seeker here, while he doesn't do AoEs or turn meter reduction himself, he gives the rest of my team bonus turn meter, which is really, really good. You can also use a negative affinity tank to pull Spiderling hits if you have good healing. You know, that's not an approach I've tried before. With Fang Cleric, I might be able to do that. We'll use her A2 to clear the spider babies out. So this fight's going okay so far, but this is a fight that can turn around really quickly on you because you can see there when it gets full, it eats all of them and heals. So my timing there wasn't great because there were a lot of spiders out when the spider got to take the turn there. So kind of reset a bunch of the work I did because I wasn't properly managing keeping the spider babies clear. None of these spiders are taking turns anytime soon, so I think I'm going to hold off on my AoE for now. Her turn meter reducer will be coming up again soon here, which is great. I just got to attack Allure. That's not very good for me. Allure is very squishy. That's why on my arena team, you generally don't want her to get attacked. There's a good chance we're going to lose Allure here, which probably means I'm dead in the fight. I'm not sure I can plow through with just 4 champions here. This has been... I really need to, like, look at my composition of champions and try and figure out how I can get past further than this stage on here. Yeah, because then they attack my Cold Heart. I don't have a healer set up in this configuration. This has been, like, one of the stages in the dungeons I've kind of been stuck on with my setup so far. Royal Guard is good against spiders. Why is he good against spiders? I have a 60 Royal Guard. I just don't really use it in content, really. I haven't been happy with it, really. It has turn meter reduction, I guess, right? Yeah, we're 3-handed now at this point. And the spider's still at half, and it could heal up potentially more. Yeah, I think we're probably dead here. Yeah, I have a Royal Guard because people said the guide said that he was good. It doesn't have particularly good gear on it, which is probably part of the reason I've been underwhelmed by it. Does Aura do? Oh, it increases attack by 35%. Okay. Yeah, I've definitely, he's not even full ascended, right? So I haven't, like, put a lot of effort into him. You can decrease speed. You can decrease speed, the what's it called, right? Let's ascend him and maybe try and go in there with the healer and see how it goes. Think I have enough to ascend him? Do I have better gear that we can put on him? He's got okay gear. Attack, defense. Maybe I could try and find some speed boots. Yeah, I can beat the lower difficulty on the spiders. I just haven't, I have attack percent boots we could throw on him. They also have accuracy, which is decent. These are already maxed, though. Let's just try it with the Royal Guard and a healer, maybe. Maybe I am supposed to use my healing composition like I use in some of the other dungeons. Because what's her name? What's her name? Sky Touch Shaman here. She She does block debuffs. Maybe, let's sort this by rank. So I put him in lead. I get 35% extra attack. Blood Gorged is great. Cold Heart's great. Allure also has some turn meter reduction and also some AoE. I guess I don't have room for 2 healers with these attackers. I could try this, and then if we fail, like cut one of these other offense units and put Sky Touch in as well. Let's try that. Wow, that's kind of a big deal. So without the turn meter boost from my what's it called? The spiders get to go before a lot of my units do, which is a big deal. So this turn meter is almost full, so let's Cold Heart it. Take it down. This can heal itself at least. The fact that my healer is negative affinity and drawing aggro is kind of a big deal. Veiling itself is probably decent though. I don't know that if I have enough AoE necessarily to keep all of these down at this point though. Without what's her name? I cut Elhain from my team to put the healer in. And now like Cold Heart's dying. Yeah, this composition seems worse than my last one even. And then it just fully healed. Yeah, this farming through this last part of this dungeon might be something that I need to kind of rethink about what champions I have and like look in my champion pool. And that's one of the things I actually like about the game. Is that, like, you don't just use the same things everywhere. So, like, I pull out my champion vault here, and you see there's a bunch of different epics in here I've opened from different points, and, like, go through and read some different reviews online, and, like, look at their abilities myself and try and figure out, like, okay, these seem like they could be useful. What does books mean? That's a good question. So, each champion has different sets of skills here, and you can see each of the skills has levels listed on it. And you use books to upgrade the levels on those skills as another customization point. So, for example, my Royal Guard here, I click into this, you see none of these are lit up. I haven't used skill tomes on this champion yet because I haven't really been utilizing it. Whereas, like, my champions like Sky Touch Shaman, which are ones I used all the time, their abilities are fully maxed out. In terms of books, or like Allure, most of her abilities are maxed out or close to it, etc. Another customization option that I didn't show that's really sweet too, and this varies in how you build the champion. This doesn't have full ones yet. Let's look at one that does. There are masteries here that configure how you build your units too. So depending on like what content you want your champion to get through, or like what you want it to be doing in that content, you customize what kind of bonuses you want for your champions to have. So you can have, on your masteries, you can have 2 of the base level, and then 3 of each of the levels in between, and then one big mastery at the top. This is another kind of layer of character customization past the gear, past putting skill tomes into things. There's lots of things to always be progressing. If you're someone that likes to have goals while you play the game that you're playing, the game Raid's very good at like giving you lots of little goals to work through. You know what? For the last of it, I'm gonna just I've been meaning to clear through the campaign on Nightmare. I'm gonna see if we can clear through a couple more levels on 3-star in the Nightmare campaign to wrap things up. These are all red affinity. I don't really have. I mentioned this earlier. I don't really have great green affinity champions. I guess Warden's kind of a good green affinity champion. Red to red, I can probably just run both of these. Let's give it a go. Red, same faction as like neutral in terms of damage. So again, in order to, you can use up to 4 champions in the campaign battles, but in order to get 3 stars in the level, you have to clear it with 2, and they both have to live through it in the entirety. All right, hopefully she can finish this. Perfect. Yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good thing to note too. If you're someone who's playing, I talked about the skill books. Skill books are one of the more difficult resources to acquire in Raid, so you want to be really sure that a champion that you're putting skill books into is one you're going to be using. There's also different rarities of the skill books. There's legendary, epic, and rare, and you can down use skill books. Like you can use an epic book on a rare champion, but in general you should never do that because epic books are much harder to get than rare, legendary much harder to get, etc. You haven't tried Whisper. She's been good on arena offense. Yeah, I didn't feel like she fit into the composition I was working on. And it's a pretty big, especially once you're higher in arena like I am, you basically need things at like 50 at a minimum to really try them in the arena. So it's a pretty big commitment to like get a new thing to 50 if it's not going to work out. Hey, Funk. How's it going? Probably finish this before it gets another turn. Perfect. This is a little bit lower. Hopefully she can kill it. Perfect. And one more round. Got to the third part here with most of our life, and with defense up, we might be okay here. Wonder if we can one-hit KO something before it gets a turn with this. Nice. Oh, I should have looked at that. So that is an unkillable buff. So unkillable and block damage are different. So unkillable doesn't prevent these from taking damage while it's up. It just means you can't fully reduce them to 0 while it's up. So we can wail on these, but we're not going to be able to finish them until that debuff goes away. Or until that buff goes away. So kind of spreading my damage out as opposed to focusing them down while I wait for those debuffs to go off. Hopefully they don't kill my Sentinel while we're waiting for those debuffs to go. Or those buffs to go. Alright, that one's down. That's a pretty big hit on her. Defense up is good. Hopefully that'll help her survive. Alright, so she just got to take one more hit from this guy, and then we can finish him off. Perfect. Sweet. When you're looking to progress in the early parts of Raid, advancing your way through 3-starring the campaign is one of the best ways to do that. In fact, it's even good here in the late game. So you can see here, I just got a blue shard for hitting 90 stars in the campaign. So I can collect that, and you can see every 15 stars you get some amount of prizes, 150 gems here, 1.5 million silver here, and then all the way up to a sacred shard when you fully max out. And sacred shards are great because they're a guaranteed epic or rare, or epic or legendary. Do you mostly use your sparring guards for food, or do you level up heroes you're not actively wanting to try out? You level up heroes you're actively using but you're not actively want to try out someday. Usually, so that's a good example. So what does farming in Raid look like? So the way farming and leveling up champions in this game works from a most efficiency perspective, stage 12 has the best energy to XP ratio. Stage 12-3 gives you slightly more silver per run. Stage 6 gives you slightly more experience. So the way you tend to play through to level things up is you want to get one champion who's going to be your primary farmer. So Elhane's my farmer. And then you put her in with up to 3 other food champions. Although you can see here, I've been leveling her as well. Although she's close enough to 60, I probably don't need to. So for example, I'm going to put 3 1-stars in with her. So these are my food champions. This is my farmer. And then I've run this stage a lot, so I know Elhain can clear this on auto. So she'll run through, and she'll kill all the monsters. The food champions will die. She'll clear the first wave. She'll run in. She'll clear the next wave. I think it takes her like 30 seconds or so to clear through this. Not the fastest clear, but she has basically a 100% clear rate for the stage, so it's good enough for me. There are some people that get this clear down to like 8 or 9 seconds per clear, so they go super quick through it. But like, you don't have that much energy per day, so unless you're buying like piles of energy, like getting your clear times down super low isn't that big of a boost. So she'll finish clearing through here, and then similar to like an XP share in the old Pokemon games, when you clear all the way through, all 4 of the champions that were part of the clear gain experience here. So these all level up to 7, and I know just from memory at this point that running this stage twice takes one level 1-star champions all the way up to level 10, which is their max. So she'll do 2 runs through with these level 1s, get them to level 10, and then you can go to the tavern and turn those level 1s into 2 stars. So when you're looking to level up champions, this is generally how you farm through. You build up 1 farming champion that's a 6-star at 60 that can clear 12-6 on Brutal, and then you do runs with food champions so you can level up other things. Hey, Dear Hulk, thanks for the 13 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday wherever you're at in the world. So, what's the benefit of leveling up your 1-star? So, the way you increase the power level of things is by kind of feeding other champions into them. So, for example, these 1-stars, we turn them into 2 stars. Once you get them to level 10, you go to the tavern here and you pop them in. And then they upgrade to a level 1 2-star. And then to take this champion to 3 stars, you would level it to level 20 and then feed it 2 level 1 2-stars. So kind of, how many runs does it take you to max out a 2-star? 6.5. That was stage 12-6 on Brutal. So 12-3 and 12-6 tend to be the optimal farming stages. So you kind of get in a rhythm, and they give you some multi-battles even if you don't purchase the raid pass. So for example, when I'm looking to level up champions, you just pop into here. And so these are all 2-stars now that I just leveled up. I can set my multi-battles here and say, okay, let's do this. Let's do this 6 times. I know like 6.5 is about what I need to do. And then tell it to sell my stuff, and then hit start. And you can see here, why do you want they ranked up? Are they better experience? So you need to rank them up so that way you could eventually turn the champions you want to be using into 5-star and 6-star champions. So to turn a 4-star champion into a 5-star champion, you have to feed it 4 other 4-star champions, which are generally these food champions that are commons and uncommons that aren't super useful. So all the gameplay that I highlighted here today is the non-grindy parts of the game. Like I said, there's other parts of the game where like it's very, very similar to leveling up Pokemon or grinding for gear in a game like Diablo 2. And then with some of the auto battles, you can go through and have them run a little bit like that. There's also some auto hotkey scripts and stuff that you can use that I believe are within the TOS that you can use. So, like I said, from a team building game perspective, I enjoyed a lot. I played in my off-stream time a good bit. Yeah, you have to play it a good bit to have all the stuff that I have on the account. If you play it and you like it, we've got clans listed in the raid channel on the Discord. If you like the game and you're going to spend money on it, 10 out of 10 recommend the Battle Pass as well as the daily gems, one or both, depending on how much you're looking to spend. Those are the best bang for your buck. And you can see the auto battle, it just keeps running on through. Hey, glad to hear it, Beansy. I'm gonna be all done after this. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and let these multi-battles finish, and then I'm gonna go ahead and call it a day. Thanks everybody for watching today. Remember, if you want to give it a try, check out the sponsor link. They're great. Yeah, I'm gonna let them finish off stream. Thanks everybody. I'll be back tomorrow morning. We're gonna do Magic tomorrow with I think Pioneer, Historic, and Standard, and then Thursday's gonna be an all historic day once we get new cards with that. So everybody, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday wherever you're at, and thanks for hanging out through the end.
Don't.
Yeah. Let me find someone to host. Yeah, I'll send you Sean's way. It's a good call. Yeah, I'm gonna host a little raid person. Find a random person streaming the game. I like to pass off to little people. So this person's got 7 people. Go give them some love.